next show we're going to be talking about is In Another World with My Smartphone.
There, another one with another world kind of thing. I don't know. Okay. Obviously, you can tell based upon the picture, even that you have up here. This is definitely a harem anime. And it's funny too because the last episode I watched of it, they actually made comment to the fact that someone actually has the ability to see the future. Maybe not like exact, but at least certain details and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they made comment about the fact that in the end he's going to have 9 wives apparently. So it's like, okay, well, interesting. This is kind of like almost one of those guilty pleasure animes for me to watch.
Yeah.
It's like I when they're focusing on the fantasy aspect of it, and the things that he does, the things he learns is, he manages to learn magic that allows him to do crafting, and he ends up crafting a gun. So he actually introduced a different technology into this world completely.
Yeah.
But then he made it to where he took the magic from that and then basically made it to where it. And I know I don't remember where I saw this before, but I kind of laughed and was smiling when I saw it. He actually made it to where it auto reloads itself. So like it's a revolver, and after he's done firing all the bullets, the shell casings will disappear, and he has a bag on his hip that has replacement bullets, and they'll automatically jump into the gun and replace. So he can just keep firing as long as the bullets are inside that little pouch.
Okay.
I was like, that's kind of cool. But of course, it's an anime. It's kind of a they're not nearly as serious in this one, so all those bullets are like rubber bullets essentially, but still he doesn't want to kill anyone, but it's kind of funny the fact that he actually was thinking about something like that. And then there was a creature that he ended up like he wanted to use its abilities, but he had to defeat it. So what he ended up doing was he learns a spell, which is kind of like his signature spell called Slip, where literally it will cause the person to slip, and he ends up
I thought it was some kind of stealth thing.
Yeah, no. He ends up enchanting one of his gun and for the bullet to where it will cast Slip, and then when the Slip's done, it will recast Slip, and it'll just keep recasting. So the creature he's trying to get under his control or whatever said, "Well, you have to defeat me." He's like, "Okay." So 1 sec. So he pulls out the gun, does the spell. And he goes, "Okay, I'm ready." And they're like, "Okay, begin." And he fires the bullet at the ground. And for like the next, I don't know, however long, at least a couple hours, that creature just kept slipping. He'd let itself slip. And eventually he's like, "Okay, enough. I'm done. I can't do this anymore." And they're like, the creature's like has like that star thing above it because it's been like dizzy slipping the entire time.
It's like
for like hours on end.
It's like Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
Yeah, basically. And it was just like, wait, okay. I don't know. It's like in the fantasy aspect of it, when you see all the spells he does and the techniques he has and the fights and everything are great. Love it. The other aspect of that, obviously being the harem aspect of that, is sometimes a little much. I'm just like, okay, come on. Just can we just move on? Can we okay, we're going to be here for a while. Okay. And then it's like, okay, now we're back to the other stuff. Awesome. I'm on board. Awesome. So, I mean, if you can find it in yourself to look beyond the harem aspect of it, the love interest stories and the, oh, I want to kiss him. No, I want to kiss him. No, I want to kiss him. No, I want to kiss him. The rest of it is great. It's even at one point, he ended up fighting a dragon because a dragon started attacking a town.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it? A dragon started attacking a town, and he ends up finding out that normally that doesn't happen a lot, but every now and then one of the young ones will get it, will break away from like a nearby mountain range and go and attack a city because it gets hot-blooded essentially. And he ends up defeating the dragon with the help of his friends. And the elder comes along, and everyone's just like, oh, it's an elder. And he literally has like a conversation with the dragon. It's like talking to it like we're talking right now, basically.
Yeah.
It's like he's like, I just want to tell you, I completely understand, but you really need to kind of rein it in with your young ones, making sure they don't attack towns. And he's like, yeah, no, I will make sure that we don't have an incident like this happening again. And by the time by the time the dragon leaves and just leaves, the everyone around him is just kind of like slackjawing. And at one point, someone's like, you know what? I don't even know why I get surprised anymore about the things that you do, because you just do them, and we're just okay. Let's just move on, you know. So even at one point, there was an army of undead that were attacking, and he ends up taking out his phone, looks at it, goes, and it actually brings up in the area around him where like a pinpoint for each of the undead that were around the building that he was in. And he ends up enchanting his phone, casting a spell where it multiplies a spell. He targets each of the thing that's targeting on his phone, and then releases a spell, and all of a sudden, like, all these circles of casting spells appear in the air above each of these undead based upon the targeting he had on his phone.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like light spears come down and just smite each and every single one of them.
That's cool.
And he's just like, and they're all just like, oh, because everyone was worried. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? There's so many of them. And he's like, hold on, pulls out his phone, does that, and everyone's just like, wait, did you just? And they're like, they look outside, like, yep, they're all gone now. Okay, moving on. You know?
It's like, I'm glad he has the GPS from God, because if you had regular GPS, it'd be like 10 feet off. You'd completely miss everything.
That is entirely too true. Oh my goodness.
That's so funny.
Oh yeah. And then, you know, and at one point he ends up like actually opening up a portal and visiting God again, and because he asks him his advice on all his love interests, I guess. So it was just quite comical and interesting just to see in general. But again, the fantasy aspect of it and like everything else that he does is always it's fun. I mean, I look at that as like the guilty little pleasure, because I'm like, it's almost, he's just like OP as all get out. But at the same time, it's just, you know, it's fun and funny to watch, especially in that situation. It's just the love interest cycle harem story that just like bogs it down. At least to me it does. I mean, anyone else might not see it that way. They might actually find it interesting or cool. But anyways, that's my
okay. But yeah. I would say not knowing like how much they're getting into the whole harem stuff is like one of the very like most of the anime that I first got into were harem based. So it's like Love Hina, Tenchi Muyo, and stuff like that. So it's like I started anime watching harems. It depends on like it depends on the characters in the harem. So I'm like, from Tenchi, I love me some Ryoko and I hate me some Aika. But in this show, it's I don't know. It's like I know there's the two that remind me of Rim and Ram, but I haven't met everybody else, so I don't know. It depends.
It's not. They definitely have a wide variety of girls. Like, it's not just one type. It's not just one. They each have their own quirks. They each have their own style, personality. So I mean, it's definitely nice in that regards, because you don't get bogged down, or you don't start. You can actually differentiate between characters, because you can actually see which each one of them are more or less, you know, what they do and all that.
Yeah.
So, but. It's interesting. It's funny. It's fun to watch. It's just you got to get through that harem stuff to get to the good stuff. So
okay. Cool. It sounds. Hopefully, it gets another. Well, is the story over?
It just this one, the story is not over, but they did end the season. Not like with the Restaurant to Another World, where that just like abruptly just cut. This one is actually. They ended the actual season, and it seems like they might go for more on that. So, yeah, cool. I am curious to see how it's going to go. So, but we'll see.
All right. They're not
because, you know, there's nothing, like, don't get me wrong, there's nothing absolutely amazing about this show. But it's still, to me, a good, solid... Yeah, and then the one he ends up building for himself, he actually gave it the ability to fly. So, I mean, it's like... all these things, like, he keeps innovating, keeps adding new things, keeps adding